Hello students, continuing with our chapter respiration in plants. In last two slides we have understood about the exact definition of respiration. We even understood about the different steps that are involved in the process of respiration, the difference between respiration and burning, the exact structure of the ATP molecule. We got to know that it is the entire plant body that respires. Also about the two different types of respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and also the differences between both of them. Okay, in today's slide what are we going to learn? Now this slide is full of experiments. We need to understand that what exactly is released in the process of respiration and the experiments which proves that oxygen is required for aerobic respiration. As I have mentioned it in the last slides, that anaerobic respiration is mere and optional respiration in plant body as well as in the animal body. However, plants and animals, they always opt for aerobic respiration only. Okay, so starting with our first experiment. Students, I have not written down the experiment, so I will be just explaining you all. The diagram is shown on the slide, so just focus on the diagram and I will explain you all the entire experiment. Okay, so the aim of the experiment says that it's the experiment to prove that oxygen is used up in the process of aerobic respiration. Yes, for that you have to take two conical flasks. The two conical flasks are flask A and flask B. In this experiment, you can see that in flask A, I have kept some germinating seeds, and in flask B, I have kept boiled seeds. Now, common thing with both the conical flasks is that both these seeds are placed on wet cotton wool. Okay, you have to place wet cotton wool at the bottom of both the conical flasks, and above them in flask A you have to keep germinating seeds, and in B you have to keep boiled seeds. Now the aim of keeping boiled seeds is that your flask B automatically becomes the control setup. Now why do we need an experimental setup and a control setup? So that the aim what you are trying to examine, like for example you want to examine whether oxygen is used up in the process of respiration or no. If you have a control, then only you can compare. अगर कंट्रोल है ही नहीं तो आप कंपेयर किससे करोगे, राइट? So control setup is always required for the purpose of comparison for the phenomenon or for the aim that is missing. Okay, clear? So A is having germinating seeds, B is having boiled seeds. Now one thing what you all should do is, whenever you all keep boiled seeds, the boiled seeds should always be coated or they should be cleaned with any antiseptic. Why? So that they should not be decayed with any microbial growth. Since it is boiled seeds, तो वो contaminate होने का chances ज़्यादा है, right? So microbes can contaminate that. So you should always coat it with some kind of antiseptic, and a common antiseptic is carbonic acid, which you can use. Now what you are seeing in this setup, both the beakers have a delivery tube, right? अब ये दोनों हवा में नहीं है. There is a stand which I have not drawn in this slide. So please you all assume कि इधर stands भी है जो मैम ने बनाए नहीं है सिर्फ. Okay, don't just keep thinking ये कैसे beakers मैम के हवा में उड़ रहे हैं. नहीं, it's not the thing, right? So these conical flasks have a delivery tube arising from both the there's a delivery tube coming out from both the conical flasks, and this delivery tube is being placed in a common beaker. Okay, now this beaker is having water filled in it, right? Now You can see a small test tube which is hanging in both the conical flask. Now what is this test tube containing? It is having soda lime. What is the role of soda lime? Soda lime is required to absorb all the carbon dioxide that is being released if the seeds undergo the process of respiration. As you all know, respiration is what? Taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. I'm sorry, that is mere breathing. But respiration में भी आपको पता है that you have to take in oxygen and it releases out carbon dioxide also in the reaction, in the complete reaction. Okay, so soda lime का role क्या होता है? To absorb the carbon dioxide that is being released out. Now please think, boiled seeds means these are what? These are dead seeds. जब कोई सीड डेड हो जाती है तो वो रेस्पायर करेगी नहीं. सोडा लाइम का कोई रोल है इधर? नहीं. राइट. नाउ लेट अस फोकस ऑन दिस थिंग. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? यू वुड सी आफ्टर सम टाइम, आफ्टर यू फिक्स दिस setup of the apparatus, you would see that after few hours or maybe after 24 hours the water level of the delivery tube has risen up. दिख रहा है? ये जो डार्कन है, हाईलाइटेड है, ये राइज हो रहा है. वाटर लेवल्स इज राइजिंग अप. व्हाई इज इट हैपनिंग? नाउ दिस इज हैपनिंग बिकॉज दीज आर जर्मिनेटिंग सीड्स. अब जर्मिनेटिंग सीड्स का रोल क्या होता है? दे आर गोइंग टू अंडरगो द प्रोसेस ऑफ जर्मिनेशन. राइट. नाउ ओके, नाउ since they will undergo the process of respiration in the process of germination as in grow हो रहे हैं, मतलब उन लोग respire भी कर रहे हैं. Okay, तो when they are respiring they are taking in oxygen. They take in oxygen, they are breaking down glucose and then they are growing in the process. अब ये सारे प्रोसेस पे ये बीकर में जितना भी ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबल है दैट इज ओवर. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? जितना भी ऑक्सीजन है दैट इज बिन ओवर एंड देयरफॉर द रेस्ट ऑक्सीजन दे हैव टू पिक अप फ्रॉम दिस वाटर लेवल. H2O, O जो है ना ऑक्सीजन, वो लेने के लिए द वाटर लेवल्स ऑफ द from this delivery tube is being rising up. However, यहाँ पर water levels rise नहीं हो रहे हैं. ठीक है? जो थोड़ा बहुत भी water levels rise हो रहे हैं, that is why. That is because here the complete this thing is a complete anaerobic condition is being created now. ठीक है? यहाँ पर सोडा लाइम ने पूरा ऑक्सीजन एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया है, सॉरी कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया है. ओके, देयर इज इवन वन मोर थिंग that is being added to this experiment. And what is that thing? See, here they have clearly mentioned when you add the burning paper in each of the flask, okay, the flame is being put immediately off in flask B, but it continues to burn for some period of time in the flame is put immediately off in flask A, but it continues to burn for short period of time in flask B. Why? That is because जो air है, that is for the burning of the paper you need the air. तो यहाँ पर जब आपने एक बर्निंग पेपर को इंट्रोड्यूस किया, when you introduce a burning paper in flask A, it is for sure that the moment you introduce it will बुझ जाएगा. The flame will go off. Why? Because there is no oxygen for it to continue to burn. Remember, the fire to continue to lit also you need oxygen, right? But since here in this flask there are germinating seeds, the fire will not continue to lit. But in flask B, it is being noticed that when you put a burning paper, the paper is continuously burning. Why is that happening? That is because only reason is here, since there are boiled seeds, there is no carbon dioxide, the air inside is only oxygen. So the paper is continuously burning, right? And since the entire oxygen is being taken up by the burning paper, अब यहाँ पर anaerobic condition create हो गए, तो जो थोड़ा water level rise हुआ है ना, that is why, that is to lift up, to create that air conditions inside this flask. समझा? Clear? I hope this experiment is clear. So in this entire experiment, we come to know that since the water levels have risen, we have understood that the oxygen is being used in the process of respiration, right? Moving on to the second experiment. The second experiment says that we have to prove that carbon dioxide is produced during respiration in germinating seeds. Now this is a very simple experiment. You have to take two round bottom flasks, flask A and flask B. In both the flasks you have to take a wet cotton wool. In flask A, add germinating seeds, and these are soaked germinating beans, right? And in flask B you add boiled beans, and as mentioned in experiment first, these boiled beans should be even just cleaned with the antiseptic. Why? To prevent them from the antibacterial decay, right? A common example of antiseptic, I mention it again, is carbolic acid. Okay, so what you have to do with these conical flasks? You just have to keep them for respiring. Both the beans are to be kept for respiration for 24 hours. Since these are boiled beans, which is equivalent to dead beans, so it is obvious they will not be undergoing any kind of respiration. And since you have even cleaned them with antiseptic, it is for sure that no kind of antibacterial decay is going to happen on them. Okay, what about with flask A? Definitely, since they have germinating seeds, they are going to undergo the process of respiration. And as you all know, what is going to happen in respiration? They are going to utilize oxygen. They are going to break down glucose with the utilization of oxygen and release out carbon dioxide gas. Now, how do we test the release of carbon dioxide gas? Now, you have to take this conical flask A, right? You have to open the rubber cork of conical flask A, and you have to just let the gas of the conical flask A pour into a test tube containing lime water. Now, what happens to the lime water? A simple test of lime water which mixes with carbon dioxide turns milky is a clear-cut indication that that conical flask contains carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so when this flask shows that the lime water is turning milky, so it's a clear-cut evidence that germinating seeds are going to produce carbon dioxide in the process of respiration. Okay, now there is also an alternative of this experiment which is being given in your textbook. I have not drawn the diagram for the same. I would just want you all to explain it. Okay? Now here they have given 4 flasks A, B, C and D. Okay? Now in flask A they have taken KOH solution, potassium hydroxide solution. In flask B they have taken lime water. In flask C they have taken germinating seeds. And flask D, they have taken again lime water. Okay. Now what is the scientist trying to show in this experiment? First, the scientist says that you add the fresh air, surrounding air, into the conical flask A containing potassium hydroxide. Why? Potassium hydroxide, what does it do? It dissolves any carbon dioxide gas which is present in the air. Now you all do agree to this fact that air is the homogeneous mixture of all the gases, है ना? एयर में सिर्फ ऑक्सीजन नहीं होता है, एयर इज द ब्लेंड ऑफ ऑल द गैसेस, राइट? सो ऑक्सीजन के साथ डेफिनेटली उसमें कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड भी होता है. ओके, सो KOH सॉल्यूशन किसके लिए होता है? इट इज गोइंग टू डिसॉल्व ऑल द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस. ओके, सो एयर को पंप कर दिया इन KOH सॉल्यूशन सो दैट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो भी अवेलेबल होगा इट गेट्स डिसॉल्व. नाउ this air is further passed on to the beaker B. Why? To confirm whether the carbon dioxide is dissolved or no. And how to confirm? Lime water will not turn milky, right? B is having lime water. Now if the lime water is not turning milky, it's a clear-cut indication that this air is free of carbon dioxide. And now this fresh air is allowed to pass through the germinating seeds. It is allowed to pass through the seeds for 24 hours. The seeds are allowed to undergo the process of respiration. 24 hours के बाद the gas which is being released from the C is allowed to pass through D. Now D is what? D is again lime water. You all know what happens to the lime water. The lime water is going to turn milky, indicating that carbon dioxide is released or produced during respiration by the germinating seeds. Okay, so I hope these two experiments are very clear with you all, showing or stating that oxygen is used by germinating seeds and carbon dioxide is released by the germinating seeds. Very simple. Third experiment, it's defined to prove that carbon dioxide is produced by green plants during respiration. Now it is again similar experiment to what we have done in the second experiment, but just that the setup is little different. Here there is a bell jar, okay, and there are two conical flasks. As I said, only the setup is different. On the right side of the conical flask, there is a soda lime pump. Okay, the air is allowed to enter in, right, through the soda lime pump. Now again, the thing is, the soda lime is going to absorb all the carbon dioxide which enters, which is present in the air. Okay. जो काम KOH का होता है वही काम सोडा लाइम का भी होता है. ओके, सो दिस इज फॉर श्योर दैट द एयर दैट एंटर्स इन, नाउ दिस conical flask contains lime water. The air that enters in the lime water will not let the lime water turn milky. This lime water is a clear lime water, indicating that the air that enters the plant body is free of carbon dioxide. So in simple words, आप जो plant को air pass कर रहे हो, that does not contain carbon dioxide. Now allow the plant to undergo respiration for 24 hours. The gas that is being released is again allowed to pass through the lime water. The lime water is going to turn milky, indicating that carbon dioxide is produced by the green plants during respiration. But here, please make a note of this point, that while performing this experiment, the bell jar should be covered with the black cloth. Why? So that at the same point of time, the plant should not undergo any kind of photosynthesis. We know that during photosynthesis, the plant requires carbon dioxide. So if the plant is going to utilize that carbon dioxide, which is being released in the process of respiration, so you won't be able to land to this conclusion, right, that carbon dioxide is released during respiration. So while performing this experiment, this entire bell jar which is placed in the center, either you have to cover it with a black cloth or you have to cover it with some black paper, right, so that or you perform the experiment in the dark. That also can be an option for you. Okay, so this is the third experiment. The fourth experiment, which proves that, which states that heat is evolved during the process of respiration. Fourth experiment, where you have to prove that heat is evolved during the process of respiration. Students, as we all know that respiration is a catabolic process. Catabolic process as in it involves the breakdown of the glucose, and it is obvious that when the glucose is being broken down, there is the release of the energy. Okay, there is release of energy, there is production of the heat in this process. Now, how do we prove this experiment? We have to take two thermoflasks, and in that you have to take 200 grams. As mentioned in your textbook, take about 200 seeds. Now, when I say take about 200 seeds as written in your textbook, I don't say that you have to literally sit and count the seeds and then divide it into two thermoflasks. No. Like Andaze say, take around 200 seeds and then divide it into two flasks. Thermoflask. Half of the seeds you have to boil it, and you have to treat it with antiseptic, either formalin antiseptic or carbolic acid, so that you prevent it with the antibacterial decay, and rest half should be your germinating seeds. Now, what you have to do in that experiment is you have to keep these seeds in the thermoflask for 24 hours, and you have to place thermometer in those thermoflasks. After few days as in 24 hours also, or 48 hours, 1 or 2 days, you would see that there is a rise in temperature in flask A, and there is no change that is seen in flask B. Now, why is that so? That is obvious because flask A is having live seeds, germinating seeds. In flask B, since you have boiled the seeds, they are the dead seeds and they will not show any rise in the temperature. Okay, so this clearly indicates that the rise in the temperature in your thermometer, these two are nothing but these are thermometer. So rise in temperature clearly indicates that the heat is being evolved in the experiment, right? The fifth and the last experiment based on your respiration in plants. This experiment is going to demonstrate the anaerobic respiration in plants, right? Now, anaerobic respiration, as you all know, does not involve the presence of oxygen. Okay, it is also called as anaxibiotic respiration, as already mentioned in your past slides. Now, how do we prove or demonstrate the experiment on anaerobic respiration? Now, for that you have to take two beakers. One is your control setup, that is beaker B. Sorry, I forgot to label it. This is beaker A, this is beaker B. Okay, so your beaker B is the control. Oh, sorry, no. You have to take two setups, the control setup and the experimental setup. I have not shown you all the control setup, but in control setup it is for sure that you are going to take boiled seeds. Experimental setup, you are going to take the germinating seeds. This is mere the results which are being seen after 2 to 3 days of anaerobic respiration. Now, what exactly you have to do? You have to take 7 to 8 seeds and you have to peel off the seed coat. Okay? Why? Because here we have to prove anaerobic respiration. There is a reason that is clearly mentioned in your textbook of peeling off the seed coat of the germinating seeds before introducing them into the test tube. It's clearly highlighted in your textbook also, and I would want you all to know the reason before understanding the experiment. That is because it may fasten the outward diffusion of carbon dioxide. Okay, the removal of the seed coat. We all know, my dear students, that be it aerobic respiration, be it anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide definitely is released out in the process. So what happens in anaerobic respiration, and why do we need to peel off the seed coats of the seed? So peeling off is going to increase, it's going to fasten the outward diffusion of carbon dioxide gas. So here you have to take a test tube, and with the help on the mouth of the test tube, for example, if this is the test tube, you have to add 7 to 8 seeds. Okay, and then you have to fill mercury in this test tube. You have to fill mercury in this test tube and involve the test tube in the beaker which is already having mercury filled in it. Okay, and this is the exact setup what you have to create. So automatically you would see that the seeds have been reached at the tip of the test tube, right here at the end of the test tube. Okay, you have to keep these seeds for around 2 to 3 days. Now when you keep the setup like this, what conditions have you created? This is called as anaerobic condition, where there is presence of no oxygen at all, and oxybiotic conditions. Okay, when there is no oxygen at all, what happens in 2 to 3 days? Definitely the seeds are going to respire. As I said, in certain conditions, when there is no presence of oxygen, the seeds, germinating seeds, would undergo the process of germination through anaerobic respiration. Okay, so they will begin the process of germination, growth, via anaerobic respiration. And how would you see that? After 2 to 3 days, what can you see? You would see that there is a space which is seen at the top of the test tube. यहाँ पर. Okay. Now there, here as in there is a gas which is being filled. Now what you have to do is you have to introduce a stick of the potassium hydroxide in this part of the test tube. Okay. Now what happens is potassium hydroxide क्या करता है? By now you all know the role of potassium hydroxide and soda lime. It is going to absorb all the carbon dioxide gas that is available. We know that even in the anaerobic respiration, the carbon dioxide gas is going to get released out. So if the seeds have respired anaerobically, it is obvious that carbon dioxide gas is going to get released out. Okay, with the introduction of the potassium hydroxide stick in this, the hydroxide stick is going to absorb all carbon dioxide gas, and within few minutes this this area is going to again get filled up with the mercury. Why? Because वो gap फिर से fill हो जाएगी ना. Carbon dioxide gas has been absorbed by the KOH stick. Okay, and thereby proving that these seeds have respired anaerobically. And as said, you all can carry out the control setup also of the same experiment by taking boiled seeds into examination. Okay, and this is how we understood the 5 important experiments based on the respiration in plants. I hope all the experiments are clear with you all. Thank you. Hi students, continuing with the last slide of this chapter, that is respiration in plants. What do we have to learn in the last slide? This slide focuses on the differences between the 2 important processes occurring in the plant body, respiration and photosynthesis. You can just see the equations, the chemical reactions, okay, that talks everything about the 2 processes. Respiration, the reactants or the substrates are glucose combining with oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide and water as end products. Photosynthesis, on the other hand, carbon dioxide and water act as reactants or the substrate, giving rise to glucose and oxygen as the end product. So, in simple words, we can say that they both are complementary to each other. Therefore, it's always been said that whenever we perform the experiments on respiration, at the same point of time, we cannot carry out the experiments on photosynthesis on the same plant body. Or we can say that respiration experiments should not be performed during the daytime. Okay. It is always mentioned whenever we carry out respiration experiments that if you all perform those experiments, you cover the plant with the dark paper or a dark cloth so that that plant does not undergo the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Now, let us elaborate few important points of differences between the photosynthesis and respiration. As we all know, photosynthesis occurs only in those cells where the chlorophyll pigment is present, whereas respiration occurs in all the living cells. Photosynthesis occurs in the presence of light. Now, my dear students, please mention it occurs in the presence of sunlight. आप लाइट लिखोगे, लोगों को लगेगा ट्यूबलाइट के भी प्रेजेंस में फोटोसिंथेसिस हो सकता है, ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है. ओके, फोटोसिंथेसिस कैन ओनली अकर इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ सनलाइट, नॉट इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एनी अदर लाइट. Whereas respiration can occur all the times throughout the day. Photosynthesis uses carbon dioxide and water clear in the reaction. Respiration uses glucose and oxygen. Photosynthesis, oxygen is the end product. Respiration, carbon dioxide is the end product. Photosynthesis makes use of the light energy, your sunlight energy, converts it into a chemical form, that is ATP, and stores that ATP so that it can perform various other functions. On the other hand, respiration में ऐसा नहीं है. Chemical energy partly is converted into heat energy and some amount is converted into the useful form, that is ATP, as you all know, and that energy is further utilized by the plant body to perform various other functions. Now, this photosynthesis results in the gain of weight in the plant body. It is obvious when glucose is formed in the process of photosynthesis, weight बढ़ेगा. Glucose adds to the weight of the plant body. Whereas respiration, it results in the loss of the plant body, loss in the weight of the plant body. So yes, my dear students, be happy. It's not only in the plant body, but also in the animal body. It's also in the human body that when we respire, yes, we are resulting in the loss of weight. Okay, क्यों? क्योंकि glucose is being broken down, and when the glucose breaks down, the energy is released, which is being utilized to perform various activities. So, if you are breaking down glucose, make sure you go and do some activity. Okay, studying is also one important activity, right? Coming back to our topic, in the process of photosynthesis, food is manufactured, and therefore it's a constructive reaction or it's an anabolic reaction. In case of respiration, food is broken down, therefore it's a destructive reaction or it's a catabolic reaction. So all the important points or the differences between the photosynthesis and respiration clearly explains all the differences between the two important processes occurring in the plant body. I hope the concepts are clear. The last part talks about the respiration in the plant body when compared to the respiration occurring in the animal body. Few differences. In plant body, we do not have any respiratory system as such. However, the respiration occurs by the diffusion of the respiratory gases from one cell to another cell by the simple process called as diffusion. Right? This is the simple process called as diffusion. Whereas in the animal body, there is a fluid called as blood. that transports the respiratory gases from one part to another. There is no diffusion happening. And please, if you all think कि अगर blood नहीं होता and अगर हमारे body में, if in our body it was mere by diffusion that the blood, that the respiratory gases have to be transported, तो हमको सालों लग जाते थे just to breathe for one time. Okay, mere by diffusion, if we would have been dependent or reliable for the respiratory gases to move from one place to another, right? So in animal body, definitely we have blood as the transportation medium, but in the plant body there is no such transportation medium. In the plant body, the end product of the anaerobic respiration is ethanol. Okay? In the animal body, as already explained in the past slides, the end product of the anaerobic respiration is lactic acid. It is not ethanol, but it is lactic acid. And I hope you all remember this anaerobic respiration happens only in skeletal muscles. In animal body, only skeletal muscles are the cells that can undergo anaerobic respiration, and in the process of anaerobic respiration they form lactic acid, okay, not ethanol. And third, plant body produces very little heat in the process of respiration. If you all have not forgotten, in the last slide, I have explained you all an experiment where we learned that respiration is the process where heat is being released, heat is being evolved, okay? That we proved by keeping the thermometers in the thermoflask, right? So, please try to understand, in the plant body, very little amount of heat is being released. Why? Because in the plant body, there is no much movement in their body. Their body is stationary, their body is fixed in one place. So they don't have to hip hop and jump from one place to another in search of food or water, shelter or any other purpose, right? So very little heat is produced in our body, whereas animal body is going to produce more heat as compared to the plant body. Why? Because their body shows more mobility. Their body is more mobile because definitely they have to search, move around in search of food, shelter, mating, etc. Right? So with this understanding the differences between respiration happening in the plant and the animal body, we complete with our chapter respiration in plants. I hope this chapter is very clear with you all. In case you all have any doubts in this chapter, we'll be clearing all your doubts when I meet you all in the lectures, in the tutorials. Thank you.